All right, how's it going, guys? Do a little update video here, just real quick. We got the 250 here again. We got it kind of taken apart. Just doing a couple things. We took it out on a couple trips. You'll see it in another video. But one problem we had with this was the first time it overheated a little bit, one time out of a trip. Well, we didn't have a fan on this because it's the dirt bike engine. I don't know if maybe how Candace rides it, lugs it around a little bit, which that engine's not really made for. But we're just trying to correct all these little things while we got it apart. Just make it a little more reliable and make sure that nothing happens with this engine. I'll show you what we got going here. So we went ahead and we put the fan back on. It's wired into our battery in our headlight, so it's not powered off the engine, but then it's wired into the temperature switch here, so it'll turn on its own, but it's still going to be powered off the engine, or off the battery, not off the engine, sorry. Another thing I'm doing right now, when it got hot, the coolant drained out the bottom over here. Like that's how it's designed. But we had this hose, and so if it got hot, it just drained coolant onto the ground, and it'd make a mess and just blow coolant all over this thing, which really sucked. We didn't like that. So I ran a new hose, and we're putting the reservoir back on, like the four-wheeler actually is meant to have, and we're just gonna put it right back up here where it was factory. Other than that, another thing, the oil breather up here, that thing, here's the original one, and it ran down, went on top of the engine, ran down, and it didn't really leak oil or anything, but all the little vapor would have mist, or the vapor would have like the dust stick to it and everything. It just really made a mess, like all right in here, which we didn't like. So I ran a new hose up here, up to the front, and then I got a different little U&I breather filter, just this little guy here. We're just gonna put that on. We're gonna put that on right up here in the front, and I'll just zip tie it up kind of like that, so the engine will still breathe. And I'm just trying to keep that thing up above the engine. And I know a lot of them would have that same style of hose, and this little filter would be on the back, but I have that on mine, and I don't like it because once anything gets in that hose, if you wheelie or go uphill or anything, any oil droplets, they run to the back to this filter, and they just saturate the filter. So I'm thinking we're gonna try it up front and just keep it elevated above the engine so that everything tends to run back down in and it can still breathe. Because this head breathes, or the valve cover breathes down to the oil tank too. So that has to stay clear. So I'm trying to keep that just to where it kind of runs uphill to this filter. So I'm just gonna do those couple things real quick. And really, that's about the last things that this needs, and I think that'll solve our overheat problem. We won't know again until we ride it, but let's just get those on real quick. All right, so I'm gonna start by getting that tank mounted back on for the coolant. So I've got some little aluminum spacers here, and when I had this up here, the cap was hitting. If you look, when this is all the way bolted in, the cap was hitting, we couldn't take it off. So I'm gonna space it out a little bit so the cap's easier to get on and off. And then I already have the hose ran back here that just needs connected up into this cap. So we get this all put on. Looks like I'm gonna need a little bit longer bolt there. That should work. That one was Loctited before, so all right. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this little clamp off. I'm gonna put the spacer in, and these lines that were held up here, I might have to just tuck those up and zip tie them up and over like that, or this one down and under. That's just a vent for the tail light. Alright, so that's should fit nice like that. I'll go ahead and tighten this sucker down for now. I really don't like the look of these YFZ coolant reservoir, but we might come up with something different later after we make sure this solves all the issues and everything. So this other wire is up top now. It's nice and out of the way. This breather hose I will end up putting up high here, and I'm gonna end up zip tying that around there, keep that up tight. Like that. And then our hose here that I already ran back, I'm going to run that through the clamp or the hanger that's here, factory. Pull that in. Make sure it's all tucked up in here good. Like this is a little different here. Let's just run this different. Trying to get it a little bit straighter shot. So there, it's coming down there now. Go back through here. On this other side, I want this hose nice and tied up right there, so I'm just gonna zip tie that real quick. I got it like right here. Okay, so that looks pretty clean. So then we can get zip ties along there. So that looks pretty good. So then all I want to do is come up here, get a length, and I'm going to leave some slack in it and push it forward a bit, probably about there. I just cut this sucker off. And grab some more of those little clamps. Hopefully this is, one of these got to be the right size. Other like this sucker here. Feels good. I think that's on far enough. Cool, I think that'll work. So then this line right here for the overflow, I'm gonna use another piece of that. I'm not gonna clamp it just because there's no pressure or anything. Not really. If it leaks, it's gonna leak. Might be a little bit too small a hose. All right. So then I want to run this back through that same clamp or holder, sorry. And this one will be just an overflow, and we're just going to get it right back spraying on the ground again. Hopefully not, but if it does, that's where we want it to go. Then ideally get it right up here where the carb hoses drain. And it's got to stay going downhill so it drains. I don't know. I don't know if I really like that. I'm gonna bring it up through that holder. That looks a way much better. That'll work. And I'll get the excess up here zip tied from inside, but that's basically how it'll sit. And then down here I'm just gonna cut it. There we go. So there's my extra, there's the tank. So that's all, that's mounted now. That's all good. Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna put a couple zip ties around that. I think that's probably good enough. Let's pop this seat off. Get a bigger zip tie here. So up in here is my line. So I want to get these zip tied up. I think for now I'm just gonna put one loose. No, that ain't gonna work. I don't like that. I just zip tie them right here to this little fitting. Just trying to get them to where they don't dangle around while you're riding. That looks like that'll hold, still move around and stuff, which is good. That's what I want. I just cut some zip ties off. And a zip tie here. And a zip tie here for some reason. Get this sucker cut off. Cut, cut. All right. I think that'll do for the overflow. Don't look too horrible. Kind of blends in with the plastics anyways, I guess. So I'm gonna tell myself anyways. So then now I get this one here cut. And this will be our air breather. So I want to get, hopefully you can see, kind of janky here. Get my clamp on here first. What a pain. Okay, filter on, just clamp it. There. It's right up against the top there. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna zip tie that on there for now. This is all rubber, I'm not worried about it scratching or anything. And I just want to make sure that everything's going to work okay. I don't like to make it too terribly permanent until we get a test ride in. I'm going to go right up through here. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't want to crimp that hose. But obviously my fear with doing this, it's above the engine. If we do get oil in here and it seeps out of this filter, we're going to have oil just cover this whole damn thing. So that's my fear right now. But we'll check it every ride and see if we got any oil residue on this. And if we do, we'll end up changing it somehow. All right, that's it. So that should be the two biggest problems solved. That looks a lot cleaner too. I like that better than this hose hanging down. I don't like this hose blocking all that shit up. So that looks cleaner. Not a fan of that, but it don't look too bad. Alright guys, so we got it all done now. Showed you what we did. That's on. The oil breather hose is changed up here. Swap that filter right up to there. So the whole side of the engine here is all nice and open now. Still make another video. If you guys got any questions, then I'm going to do a video still about this and go over things that I haven't really covered like in depth, like our sprocket here. This is the one I made, which is still running awesome. I'll go over how we lined up the sprocket, you know, the swing arm modifications up here, getting our sprocket and chain lined up with the engine. This is all factory, but just to give you a quick look, this is the sprocket I bought. It took like, I don't know, 6 months or something to get in, but it's pretty nice. We can keep it that way until we need it. But so when I bought that, that's a different I think that's a 14-tooth sprocket. I built a 13-tooth sprocket just so we'd have more than one size no matter what. But anyways, that's for a different video. I'll go over a bunch of that stuff. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'll make a list, go over everything. Just kind of help people that are building these, show them the problems we've had that I haven't really got too in-depth about. But a bunch more things we got to work on. Not on this so much. We've got the Raptor over here. Then we got some, well, we got a stabilizer, a little light bar, switch, just little piddly stuff. I've got some parts down there for my LTR that I got to get put on. So that'll be another video. So more stuff coming. Nothing but time, right? So give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, watch for more videos come out, and let me know what you want to see. Thanks. See you later.